Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the opening race of Tier 3 in MRC. This is the starting round of Season 11. And no, 11 whole seasons of MRC. And, well, frankly, we're just getting started because MRC, as a certain Hodge likes to say, is the show that never ends. And speaking of things that never end, tonight I am joined in the commentary box by somebody who just never goes away. Our love and our friendship is stronger than glue, dried Weetabix, and most carbon fibre cars on the grid. And that is the man that is Connor Hardy. Connor, hello.
Hello. I'm excited to be comms in Tier 3. It's been way too long.
It is. I think first things first, I can't do you a guard of honour because no one can see it, but congratulations, you are the reigning Tier 3 champion, and you, as a reward for that, get to commentate on the opening round of Season 11 in Tier 3. How does it feel?
I get to pick a champion. It feels great.
Yeah, you're gonna do that today. I'm gonna make you pick a champion-elect today, and we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. Hold that thought.
Yeah, we'll come. Yeah, but no, I feel great. It obviously I didn't win it the way I wanted to win it, but
winning is winning.
And now we'll see which of these guys can take it and run away with it.
Indeedy. Indeed. Speaking of run away, this is a bit of a... Most of those tracks where you absolutely throw it in and throttle the hell out of the car and, well, point and squirt, I think is the official term for this track. There's a few flowing corners, but generally it's heavy brake zones, heavy acceleration zones, and that could lead to a runaway leader today. We will have to wait and see. Do you want to talk us through Gavin, Mr. Night Shadow, who is about to start the first lap of the session as he comes to the final corner?
Yeah, and he's a newly Tier 2 driver, but he's coming out the final corner. He's just going to come across the start-finish line now. Yeah, so here goes his lap. So now he's going to be full throttle, heading down to turn 1. He's going to brake when the curb starts on the left and try and get the best rotation he can to get the best line for turn 2. He's got a bit deep though, that might cost him a tiny bit into turn 2. He did lift a tiny little bit. But let's see, he's now going to go, oh, there's a car that's come straight back across, but that's going to cost him 100 metres for turn 4. How well he can get on the power? That's the question, it's a corner that you're just edging to get on it, but you can't. Now into turn 5. Oh, that Alpine is not helping him in any way, shape or form. But he's keeping, yeah, but now on the throttle really, really early now, double left-hander. This corner is the one that catches almost everyone out, unless your name is Fernando Alonso. But you brake and hit. He's done that beautifully. Got on the power supremely well as well. Now heading down, I've lost count on the corners, but I think this is turn 9 or turn 10. But you brake around the 75-metre board. You swing it in and just wait for that traction. You almost feather the throttle round there to try and get some sort of speed. Now flat out through that right-hander. Now into the next one, you brake. It's almost a feeding corner, but you got to swing it and carry as much pace as you can. Now you've just got, well, effectively a straight and a corner left to the end of the lap, but you will try and find the best braking point. It's going to be around 75 metres-ish for qualifying. Hits the apex well, but you don't want to hit it too much because of that rather large curve. But now he comes across the line, and what's the banker lap going to be? At 31.2. Good lap.
Yeah, I have to say someone did definitely get in his way on that lap, and it was an Alpine. So obviously that would be Mr. Rambo or Mr. Sambao. We'll leave that be there to be discussed by the stewards. I'm sure somebody will make a comment. This is Gav's last race as a permanent Tier 3 driver, as you alluded to. He is stepping up to Tier 2, and that'll be effective next week. And there will be a Tier 4 driver stepping up to Tier 3, and a Tier 4 reserve stepping into Tier 4. All will be revealed in the Discord shortly. So,
well, that's already been revealed, and Geke actually is racing in Tier 3 today. So
apologies, I must have missed it while I was climbing the long ladder to the comms box. Now then, Bahrain. It's a bit of a Marmite track. You either love this track or you hate it, frankly. It's not everyone's cup of tea. Personally, I like it, but I'm not very good at it. What's your take on it, Connor?
Last game, I absolutely loved it. This game, I absolutely hate it.
Fair enough. One man in the real world of F1 who does like this track is Lewis Hamilton. He's won here 5 times at this circuit. Ferrari as a team since the first rendition of the race in I believe 2004, in this format of the track, which is the same format as we had back then. Ferrari have won it 7 times, more than any other constructor. The current format, as we know it, is the layout you can see in the bottom right of the screen. It's a 5.4 or 3.3 mile long circuit, and in the full length event of the race will be a 57 lap, just like we saw in MRCX on Friday. 19 times this race has held the Bahrain Grand Prix. We've also had the Sakir Grand Prix back in 2020. Excuse me. That year was the year that COVID caused chaos and controversy to the calendar, and we saw a different layout, which was the second of 3 layouts we've seen of the circuit. In 2010 and 2011, we also saw a slightly longer loop of the circuit, which is commonly used in the Endurance series. Of the 3 layouts, Connor, which is your favourite?
What, of the layouts? Are we including Sakir as well?
Yes, Sakir, the Endurance long loop, and this typical international circuit as we know it that we have today.
I think in terms of racing, this actual layout usually brings almost the best, because you've got quite a few straights where you can at least attempt to move. However, my favourite race to watch here was actually Sakir.
Yeah, the short loop, that I completely agree. This is the best layout to watch in general, but the best race was that one-off in Sakir, the Sakir short circuit. As Scottish Ninja, speaking of some fast action, 30.6, he's getting himself ready. I think, now, let's come back to the title prediction. Scottish Ninja was going to generally be my long shot for the title.
I've got a few that I think could. I think Julian's going to be up there.
Oh yeah, Dios Julian definitely, having come down from tier 2, he's definitely got potential pace.
I think Gav would have been my favourite until he got promoted. I think Ant Stokes one to watch. He started tier 3 last season as a reserve and was leading the championship after 4 races. So I think he's going to be one to watch, but I think the man I'm going with is Melvin. In tier 2 the other day, he was lightning.
I think those two, you're right, those two are definitely in with a shout. Another man not to dismiss, Scratch Charisma. He had a bit of a struggle the last 2 seasons, but this is a man who has ridiculous pace, and if he can get his form back together on the new game, who knows what could come for him.
Yeah, I agree. I also have to say Baby Hornet, otherwise he's going to absolutely kill me. But yeah, he's also going to be...
Yeah, he will. He will. Scottish Ninja and RC Danny definitely need to watch out for, the 2 Scots in the McLaren. Rob Smith is another one. He's again quite a sensible and mature driver, I think is the right way of saying it. He's not someone to go for do or die sends, and he's someone who will always make sure he's there at the end, and that is definitely the right characteristics to have in a driver. When others around you fall apart, he's someone who can bring the car home and pull the points in. So let's see, we've got a 12 race season which concludes in Belgium, Spa-Francorchamps, and starts here in Bahrain. We'll follow the real world F1 calendar up to that point, and hopefully we'll have some fantastic action. If tier 3 is anything to ever go by, and MRC in general, then we will have fantastic action, because that is just MRC.
Tier 3 always throw up things, don't they? Things that you don't always expect, but it's always fun and games. I mean, I've raced here for long enough, so... Yeah. You were a veteran of Tier 3, having spent all bar 1 season of your time in MRC in Tier 3, unless I'm mistaken. Have. Well, this is now the 2nd season out of it, but yeah. So, yeah. But it's nice to be on comms for it, to be honest. I don't like the stress. I don't like racing Wednesdays. I prefer Mondays, but yeah. So... it's interesting, but I'm interested to see this battle for quali now, because I look at Boofy's time there as well. That's not a million miles off those guys. Obviously, we saw what happened to Gav in the middle sector as well. He's definitely got more pace there. So... we've had a request to watch Jam's hot lap from a friend of his, so let's see what the Williams man can do. By the way, Boofy's only had the game for 2 days. I was speaking to him just before the start of the session. He's had the game for 2 days and he's popped that lap in. Yeah, that's scary. That's scary. Yeah, it really is.
Bear in mind, some people on the beta or since the game's come out will have had weeks of practice. He's had an hour or 2. So,
Yeah, just a quick word on like the championship talk though as well. Like the other thing is, this is the first season on a new game. Literally anyone could win it.
Oh yeah, Jam's very twitchy through turn 4 there. Yeah, this is the kind of reset that ultimately, if you were struggling towards the end of the last game or you're just really lacking confidence, this is the kind of reset that can rejuvenate and bring a new level of life to a lot of drivers. Alternatively, and Boothie goes fastest, 30.5. There is the pace. Alternatively, if you're someone like me who was doing okay on the last game towards the end, it's exactly what you don't need, because ultimately, you've got, and a lot of people will probably say similar, which you've gone from a position of being very competitive to having to do all that hard work again. But we're all the same boat. Everyone's got to learn together. Melvin with a 30.4. Yeah. He's not messing around with the playoffs, is he?
I was watching his lap and I was just literally seeing him improve each sector. He went purple in the middle sector. He looked very, very strong.
Rob Smith with a good lap there as well, 31.5.
JJ
Night
Don
Shadow.
As well, up to P4. He snuck up there.
Indeed. Great lap. Another Williams man. That Williams looks fantastic in this Twilight kind of setting, and with this new paint livery, slightly different to the previous game. I know I'm biased because I love Williams, but I think it's beautiful.
I like the Duracell battery.
I think that's the most brilliant piece of marketing. I think that's just fantastic.
It actually improves the car.
It does. I think the McLaren the McLaren looks better under this light because you can see the metallic parts of it, but I think it's just too much colour. Like, it's just a bit too much going on in it.
I've kind of realised that after picking that as a car, after one race, I kind of regretted it.
Yeah?
Yeah, but it is what it is. I've got a season there now, so
yeah,
it's all part of the fun.
And your former teams, Ferrari and Red Bull, well, they're very classic, typical liveries. Oh, Melbourne just gets out the way of the Mercedes there. That was a bit of a close one. Let's see what Gav's doing on the end of his lap. The Aston Martin, I have to say, most people will agree with me here. I know, but the Aston looks fantastic this season.
It really does. But look at his middle
sector.
Second
up. He's a second up. Wow. Okay. This will be fastest. This will surely be pole. Well,
if he gets a 29, I'm leaving the session.
He will. No, this is a 29, surely. Surely it's going to be.
But we all saw what happened in the
29,
middle sector, so...
30.2!
So close. He's
what
just
a
matched
lap.
the tier 2 pole.
He has. That was a
10
great
pole,
lap.
Sorry.
That was a great lap.
Wow.
Scottish Ninja is on track, but he's not on the lap. And Stoke is on an improved... No, he's not. He was improved for the first sector. He's now dropped time.
Yeah, he's just set that time. So P6 is good for him as well. This team's going to be very competitive this season.
Scratch is 3.5 tenths up in the first sector. Let's see what Mr. Charisma can do. Brendan of Canada. The Canadian... Oh, big twitch. That was a huge twitch.
I just want to say... RFC Danny is 1.2 seconds up in the middle sector.
Okay, let's come back to Scratch. Let's just check on the Danny.
This could be very close to P2, maybe even P1. So.
The Iron Brew Love Machine comes round that final corner. What can the Flying Scotsman do? Can he overtake the other Flying Scotsman? DRS wide open, across the line. He goes P5, 30.7.
He lost 2 tenths. He lost 2 tenths in the final sector, but that's still... Look at the McLaren boys.
3 Scots in the top 5. David Coulthard is milking himself with excitement.
Another thing to mention, Scottish Ninja just gone purple in the first sector.
Let's come back to that because...
Oh, he had a big twitch! Sorry.
Scratch Charisma's half a second up. Let's see where Scratch goes. This could put him in the top 5. P5. There we go. 30.6.
Yeah,
cracking time from the Scratch. Now then, you mentioned
I'm excited for this now.
Scottish Ninja had a moment.
Let's see. So
he's still, yeah, it looks like he's weaving. He's backed out of that lap. So let's look for somebody new. Back Mazo. Let's see how Back Mazo's doing.
It's good to see him right up there as well. He had a bit of a tough season last season, didn't he? But
yeah,
he seems to have really found his pace on this game.
This, again, early days, but it looks like it's given him a new lease of life. So good to see Back Mazo's up and running on the new game. Looks to be fighting. Same goes for Sambao. I've had a fair few conversations with him. He's a good man. He's Had a lot going on in his personal life, so he's had to not focus as much on the game. Now he's really focused, and he's definitely someone you do not want to underestimate. Batmaze is 3 attempts up in the middle sector. This could put him into the top 10. Got a yellow flag just ahead as the McLaren getting out of the way. Geke has retired. He's lost it out of turn 4. I can see it on the map. The Alpha Tauri has gone out of turn 4. Must have got on the curb, got on the throttle too early.
Yeah, it's not a good tier 3 return so far for Geke, but I'm sure he'll be back next week.
P10 for Batmazo. I'm calling this perfectly. If I get a position, I call it perfectly. Right, let's...
Fox River 8 as well, look at him. I know he's tier 2, but medium tyres, P7.
Great lap, 31.0. That is a great lap. Let's find somebody. Rob Smith, how is he doing? He finishes off his lap. Here he goes. Oh, or was he just starting a lap? I think he was just starting one, actually. I'm sorry, everyone, that's a big letdown. Let's stay with him.
Him and B17 are both running no assist tonight, by the way.
Fantastic.
I know
This
you're
game,
a big advocate for that.
Yes, I am. This game is, in regards to assists, a little bit different to the previous game. The ABS seems harder, the traction seems easier, but ultimately, it's more inviting for people to try to turn off those pesky assists, push themselves, and also still have fun whilst improving. And Rob Smith, he's reaping that reward. He's 3 attempts up in the first sector. So, a few more attempts in the middle and final sector, and he could be looking in the top 7. Let's see how he goes.
Ninja was actually up on his time, but he bailed. Ninja
must feel like he's got more. He must feel like he's got more for the race. He's going to definitely have more to play with in the race than that.
But let's see what Melvin and Boofy can do. Can they get anywhere near that time of Gav?
Keep an eye on him, and we're seeing Rob Smith right now flying through the final part of that middle sector, and he's 5 tenths up. Right, if Rob can find another 10th in this final sector, P7 could be his, and that would take him all the way from 12th to 7th. That's a huge jump. Into the final corner, fully committed, runs a little bit wide on the apex, but he's got a good exit. Here we go. DRS activated, and across the line, P10, he's done it! Into the top 10. Didn't quite get the final sector that he needed to jump up to 7th, but he was not far away. Now then, let's check out Melvinho. And he's 200ths off. Yeah, that's not a bad first sector. He'll be happy. There's room in the middle and final sector, I'm sure, for him to find something. Can he be the man to give Gavin something to think about? Or will it be the Ferrari man, Mr. Booth?
We'll soon find out. Baby Hornet struggling a bit down in P16. Jackster's out. I'm guessing Jackster. Yeah, Jackster's.
Yeah, he's just retired.
He's got his medium tyres. Yeah.
Yeah, and in fairness, he's a tier 2 driver.
For Boofy. He's set a purple first sector, and now his lap's done. He's had to bail. Boofy was looking good for.
We've got a Melbourne rounds.
Yeah, he's lost his wing, hasn't he? I've just seen that.
He has, yeah.
Oh, that's what's pushing.
Right,
Gav may have just secured his pole.
Let's see what Boofy can do. He might be down. We'll find out when he crosses the middle sector checkpoint. He's got a Mercedes ahead of him. He takes a bit too much curve on the entrance to the left-hander there. But full acceleration up the hill through the S section. And yeah, he's 6 tenths down. That is his lap 100% over now.
Yeah, it looks that way. I'm watching Donny. He was about 2 tenths up in the first sector. So
yeah, let's stick with him as he comes into the left-right. Here we go.
But he did make a little mistake. That's the issue.
Traction out those medium and high-speed corners like that one there, you do find is really rewarding. Although Donny's now lost 2 tenths, he's now 300ths down coming out of the middle sector. That is crucial. If he gets a good final corner, he could jump the Fox into P7. Here we go. The Williams man has aborted. He's aborted on that lap. Red car Rambo in the Alpine. He was in that for the last few races of last season in Tier 2. Moved to Alfa Romeo. Oh, very wide in the final corner, and it's invalidated. That was a shame. Good to see the super sub, last minute super sub back on track. Mutts nuts, he's aborted.
If you ask Ryan there.
Hello?
But my bad. But if you ask Ryan there, you would say he will just tell you he was on a pole lap and didn't want to take pole.
It's possible. He's got very good pace, not just on this game, but in general. He's always been quite a quick guy.
I saw it in Tier 2. He was,
He was
incredible
quick.
this week.
And that is our grid, ladies and gentlemen. So, on his final outing in Tier 2, last year's third place man, Gavin the Night Shadow Jenkins, takes pole position. Melvin, one of the potential championship contenders, takes P2 in the Red Bull. And P3, what a fantastic upturn in pace from Boothie. Having just got the game this afternoon, P3, he'll be thrilled. Scottish Ninja, having stepped up from Tier 4 to take P4, will also be thrilled. Scratch Charisma, P5, sick for RFC Danny. He'll want to chase the two Scotsmen ahead of them to be the best of the jocks. P7 for the Fox, 8th D Johnny, great lap from him. Looks like he's got his eye on this new game. Ant Stoke, another one, Tier 4 promoted to Tier 3, and he looks good for it. Rob Smith, P10, Back Mazo, P11, DRS Julian, P12, having dropped down from Tier 2, he's got some work to do in the race. Red Car Rambo, P13, good lap on the mediums, nearly as good as the Fox Rivers, mind. Much Nuts, P14, Sambal, P15, B17, 16, 17 for Jackster, another Tier 2 driver on mediums. Baby Hornet, he'll be disappointed with P18, but there's a long race to come. Jam, on his recent return to MRC, takes P19, and last but not least, Geke. So, Connor.
Hello.
Who is your pick?
This is one of the hardest ones because I think that top 6 is absolutely mouth-watering. I really do. I think it's absolutely incredible. But I'm not going to say Gav. The reason I'm not going to say Gav is because he's going to Tier 2 next week. This race means almost nothing to him. I know he wants to go on a high, but it is
pride and practice.
I'm going to go with your outside pick for the championship. I'm going to go Mr. Scottish Ninja.
See, I think that's a good shout. I think both him and RFC Danny are genuine contenders. Danny in MRCX on Friday really gave me plenty to think about, and he did it all of last season too. So I think the two Scots and the McLaren, they've got some real scary pace. Melvin looked good on Monday in Tier 2.
Yeah, he did. Frighteningly good.
I'm going to go with Melvin. I know, I'm picking a Red Bull to win. That's controversial, but it's also what we see every week. A Dutchman in a Red Bull winning the race from the front row. So I'm going to do a typical F1 and just pick that. But let's
pretty scarred, to be honest.
Yes. Yes. Now, anyway, strategies. Now, can't remember what your strategy was, but I ran the medium soft on Monday and found the mediums were an absolute joke of a tyre. The soft medium, soft hard, medium hard, or any other variation of those same tyres are all doable for one stop today. I will be surprised, with the exception of a safety car intervention, if we see people picking the two stop strategy. All of them seem to be similar pace, but ultimately the hard tyre and the soft tyre offer more grip than the medium somehow. Baffling,
yeah,
I know.
I planned for a medium soft, but because of safety cars, I ended up going medium hard. But have you seen the fluctuation? I don't know if you've looked at the tyres, but there's a big mix of all three compounds.
Let's have a quick look, actually. Let's get the details on the screen. So, our front row duo of Melvin and Gav are both on the softs, as is the Fox, Back Mazo, Sambal, Baby Hornet, Jam and Geke. The hard tyre is the least represented tyre on the grid. Mutt Nuts, DRS Julian and RT Danny all opting to go for the hards early doors. That leaves the remaining drivers of Boothie, Scottish Ninja, Scratch Charisma, D Johnny and Stoke, Rob Smith, Red Car Rambo, B17 and last but not least Jackster running the mediums. Now, as we discussed, all these drivers will be aiming for a one-stop strategy.
Yeah, they definitely will. It's
about 15 seconds faster to do a one-stop than a two-stop. 10 to 15 seconds depending on your tyre preservation.
Yeah, that's very true. It's going to be interesting to see how much Gav and Melvin really run off at the start without any safety cars, because obviously the first few laps they're going to have way more grip than anyone.
Oh yeah, the soft tyre. You get about 3, maybe 4 laps where that soft tyre is incredible, and then for the next 7 or 8 laps, until you take it off, it matches the hards and the mediums for pace.
Yeah.
The hards and the mediums just stay at that pace the whole time.
Look at where Gav's pointing, by the way.
It didn't work. He went too aggressive. Let's get rid of the graphics just so we can see the start. And wait for the lights. Look at this in the twilight setting. The night sky will fall upon the track very soon, but in this twilight setting, this is fantastic.
This is a beautiful track. I think there's no denying that one.
Indeed. But the cars are all lined up, and we now wait for the lights. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we are racing in the desert, and immediately off the line. We're seeing lots of cars.
Boofy, by the way.
Indeed, look at this, Melvin and Boofy side by side in turn 1. Gav absolutely roaring away. Boofy's had to bail out to allow Melvin room. We've got the two Scottish boys either side of Scratch Charisma. Is there going to be some repercussions? Turn 4. Obviously, Danny's all over the back of Scratch Charisma. What is going to happen here? No, it doesn't go for a move this time. Down the order though, we've got side by side between D Johnny and Stoke. Is Stoke going to go around the outside? He's still going for his turn 5 and 6. Wow, that was close. Down the order, Rob Smith had a bit of a disaster. Oh, actually going to the inside of Scratch Charisma.
Wow, what a move.
Is Scratch going to get him back on the run to the inside of the double left? He's got better traction out of the hairpin, and that's got him back ahead. Meanwhile, nearly collision between Dan.
Ryan's just got into the back of Johnny.
Yeah, D Johnny has gone round. Unfortunately, that collision will have hurt him, but he's back up. He's into 11th. He's dropped a couple of positions. Ryan's a good man, and he has already relinquished position. Oh, very aggressive from Rob Smith there. And that's meant Ryan, who's just given back the position, has now just lost a couple more. A good measure. Hopefully there's no damage.
Stuck through as well. So.
Yes. Jax has had a bit of a bad start. He's dropped to 19th.
He's got wing damage, I believe someone has. I saw a wing come off at the start.
Indeed, back to the front. Gav has over a second lead already. Melvin just behind him. Just behind that is Boofy. Scottish Ninja's got the move on Boofy down the main straight, heading towards turn 1. Great lap. Fox River has got the move done on Scratch as well, up the inside in turn 1. Your fellow Reading fan and friends is getting, well,
rather frisky.
Yeah, he's getting on with it, unlike Reading FC. Meanwhile, here we go, and Stoke lining up DRS Julian. DRS Julian hangs on for now. D Johnny will be waiting in the wings, waiting to pounce if these two have a moment.
He will. Donny's recovered well. He's managed to get right back on the back of Stoke with his little contact or hoo-ha with Ryan. But now Sambao is just about to be overtaken by Mr. Rob Smith.
Indeed.
We've got around the outside. Oh, he's had a big twitch.
Keep an eye. I've got Boofy and Scottish Ninja side by side on the screen. We've got a bit of a telemetry glitch going on, so the positions look to be genuine, the gaps look to not be genuine, so let's just try and force the telemetry to behave somewhat. Yep, the telemetry is not behaving.
They're a lap down. So.
Yeah. Oh dear, this telemetry is very broken. New game, new glitches. Oh! Boofy had a huge moment coming out the right-hander, the penultimate corner. And Scottish Ninja has the move done. Nice and simple. Now then, Mr. Booth.
Reactions from Mr.
Well,
Scottish Ninja.
I see what you did there. Now then, Boofy with the slipstream will come back at him down the main straight. Don't forget DRS is now active, which means coming out of turn 3. In turn 4, DRS will be available to all drivers within 1 second of the next car. Boofy up the inside, keeps it very neat and early on the brakes. We might get the switch back here. Fox has a small collision with Boofy. That's offset Booth for the opportunity to come back at Ninja. And that gives, frankly, if your name is Scottish Ninja right now, you are breathing a huge sigh of relief.
Yeah, you are. Fox just sort of hit the curb in turn 1 and it bounced him into Boofy a little bit, but luckily no real harm done to Boofy, so.
That's exactly it. So it looks like the leading duo are pulling away, but they're not quite pulling out the gap that they might have hoped early doors. They've got a couple of seconds advantage. Let's jump to that fight now. Gav, he had a very fast 2 early laps, but Melbourne's really caught him with his Booth. He's gone very wide at turn 7 and turn 8. Sorry, turn 8 and 9 even. Is Melvin with DRS? Nope, not having a look this time. He will have a look, I'm sure, into the penultimate corner or the main straight.
Yeah, he definitely will. Scratch has now passed him past Boofy as well. So
yeah, mistakes causing Boofy plenty of pain right now. He needs to settle down and get on with fighting back.
look
And
at how
Gav's going
defensive
to
Gav's gone.
Gav's playing the DRS game. That's what it is. Oh, he nearly collects the back of the Red Bull for good measure. Gav, I think, was trying to play the DRS game. He wants to attack Melvin rather than have Melvin attack him.
Ruined it though. I think he's actually not called it right. I think he lost a bit too much time at the final corner.
Indeed. Scratch having a look at the back of Fox. Up the inside, turn one. Oh, bails out of it wisely, because that could have ended in tears. Boofy will now get the run on him out of turn 3. If he gets good traction, it looks like he has. The Ferrari man is on the back of the AlphaTauri. Here we go, it's turn 4. Nope, this time Boofy does not have a look.
Yeah, he doesn't, but it's Scottish Ninja's now right on the back of these two in the lead now as well, so it's becoming a three-way battle.
Indeed, the McLaren man is 100% looking like a very good candidate for the win today. He's on the medium tyre, the only one in the top 4 on the slow tyre, as Melvin goes very wide there. He takes his sweet time rejoining the track. I'm thinking he should try not to have got a track limit warning for that, but that might in itself have given him a worse one.
That's
He
one
did.
thing. At least
D. Johnny has got past DRS Julian.
He has. I don't think those hard tyres are working.
Well, you see
By
that?
looking at the gaps.
No, they worked well on Monday in both Tier 1 and 2. So this is very much new information. Now then, here we go. Scottish Ninja is very much eyeballing the back of the winking eye of the Aston. Oh, it's nearly collision! Oh, wow. Now, that was so close. Oh, my word. That was so nearly an aeroplane crash. And Gav will have breathed a huge sigh of relief there to not have been collected. Scratch will surely take Fox River here, round the outside with DRS. Gets the breaking point on the racing line, but no. Fox River breaks late and holds on, but will Scratch get the run out of the corner with a switchback? Yes, he does. Scratch has got in bread and butter. Candy from a baby.
Now Scratch could really find himself in the fight for the lead as well, so could this be the season Scratch charisma bounces? Oh, there's contact in the background between Julian and Danny. I just
Talk us through it. What happened?
So I was watching, funnily enough, Scratch Charisma, and in the background you just saw, I think it was Julian went way too late on the brakes into turn 4 and just hit the rear of Danny a little bit, and luckily Danny didn't go round, but it caused him a big twitch.
Oh dear.
So,
Alpine round. Ryan's dropped it at turn 9. Oh dear.
He has.
And now Danny is under big pressure from DRS Julian. Julian up the inside. DRS Julian with the DRS. That's a bit of rubbing between the two there. They say rubbing's racing, but rubbing is not rubbing when you're pushing.
Yeah.
And
wow,
Danny's back ahead. Danny is ahead.
That was brave in the flat out right-hander, wasn't it? But he's had a big twitch out the penultimate corner. Now Julian's got the run. He's coming back at him.
Julian's got back through. We'll come back to this fight shortly because there is a fight between Booth and the Fox. Here we go, Dan Booth up the inside, and that looks like an easy DRS pass. Melvin struggling with DRS up front, and that's if you look here, there's a bit of a train. So Gav back close behind him. So Scottish Ninja just behind them is the man Scratch Charisma we were talking about. Could this be the resurgence of him?
Virtual.
We have a virtual safety car. Danny and Julie with the collision at turn 2 and 3, I believe.
Yeah,
he's got a penalty for it.
Yeah, I think Danny's lost his wing, so yeah, Danny's got no front wing.
Oh dear. Well,
I'm glad it tells you on this game that it's actually a virtual safety car and you don't have to guess by a dot on the screen.
Yeah, it's made our job as commentators much easier to have some nice telemetry. It'd be nice in the stream if it told you a countdown for the virtual VST to end, because in the game, obviously, as drivers, you don't get to know it, and that's fine. Oh, yellow flag warnings. I'm sure these will get appealed later.
I've just been watching Danny the whole time, and he literally did nothing wrong.
And Stoke penalty for speeding under the VSC, and that's a drive-through. Green flag.
Costly, isn't it?
And Melvin and Gav are side by side. Scratch Christmas going to take... oh, here we go, the inside. What a move. Opportunistic as ever. And that was a great move.
He must have been absolutely on it on that restart.
He was.
Must have, because...
This top 6 is running away, though. Look at the gap between this top 6 and the rest of the field.
Honestly, it's incredible. Oh,
Scratch
Ninja so nearly went into the back of Scratch.
But that was out of position.
Gav's taking the lead.
Indeed, and here we go. Scratch takes P2. DRS active. Here comes Boothie. Is Melvin going to drop in another position by turn 1? Boothie up the inside. Not this time. Oh, but here comes DRS. Here comes Fox River on the outside of Boothie. And tell you what, good racing to both of them for keeping that clean. That could have gone really wrong, but it did not. And we've got a car... oh, we've got cars in the pits, so take it back. I thought we had cars round, but no, we do not. Now then, Scratch. He's in the mix for the race lead. You did call this a couple of laps ago. Scratch finds himself within 2 tenths of Gav.
I think those soft tyres are slowly but surely starting to lose the best of their ability now, and now Scratch and Scottish Ninja... Wait, did Scottish Ninja pit? Okay, he did. That makes sense then.
He did.
But that's also a really early pit stop from Scottish Ninja, considering...
Indeed, Gav's gone wide and Scratch is taking the lead. Gav went wide out the double left-hander, and the lead has changed to the Canadian. Now then, Melvin down to P3. Fox River goes very wide. Sorry, Boothie went very wide, not Fox, apologies. Are we going to see Gav fight to retake the lead from Mr. Charisma?
I think he almost definitely is going to fight back, but I think those softs are losing their fight because the medium runners look very, very strong. Indeed. I do wonder if Scottish Ninja had damage though, because he was on the medium tyres, and that's a really, really early pit stop. So...
Gav is lining up a move. Gav has got it done very early on. Have you noticed in regards to the setups here, no one seems to have a crazy straight line speed, and obviously Gav was one that used to commonly run that. It seems the setups have had a massive swing in favour of those with a stable high speed in the corners rather than high speed on the straights, kind of bias towards setups.
Yeah, I was going to say last game on Bahrain I used, well, let's just put it this way, not low wings, but a lot lower than I did on this game.
I'm running almost 3 times the wing on this game that I ran on the last wing. Last game.
I did 38, no, 36, 34, sorry.
Oh, Scottish Ninja's out! And so's Adam Stoke. We have a full safety car. What on earth happened?
That's contact. They've gone at the exact same place. You would definitely think that's some sort of contact between those two.
Oh my word. I'm sure we're going to hear something about that in stewarding. But for now, the cars are to be backed up. The McLarens have had a bad day as Danny is at the back. Scottish Ninja is out. And, wow. Oh dear. Those who have pitted already will be internally screaming, maybe externally screaming. Those who are on the soft tyre, in fact, everyone, frankly, who's not on the hard, will surely be boxing right now for a set of hard tyres to go to the end. Those on the mediums, they might try and... Sorry, those on the hards might stretch out a set of mediums to the end. And funnily enough, we see the top... In fact, all the drivers at the front are all pitting, including DRS Julian, who's on the hard. Is he going to go for a medium? Surely. Is everyone going to pit? So. Everyone's pitting.
Yeah,
it does seem like a no-brainer.
They've all kind of had to follow each other here because they're all so close together that no one's really going to gain by staying out. And anyone that does stay out, if there is another safety car, it's going to cost the one that does stay out. So
so you are very right there, Connor. We are seeing everyone pop the hards on, with the exception of DRS Julian, who was already on the hards, and he's now gone to the mediums. Nuts.
He's kept going. He's
the only one to not pit, and he is now up to P6. He's gained some positions.
He did pit on lap 1, so I do wonder if he's trying a little...
Well, you might be able to take them. You might be able to take them to the end. We're seeing Jam has also put the mediums on. He was on the hards before. Oh, DRS Julian's cut somewhere coming out the pits and got the penalty for it.
Yeah, he really has. It's a massive shame.
And RSC Danny, who's only just put those medium tyres on, stays out on them. If I were him, I'd have pitted for the hards, frankly. Well, anyway. So, almost a brand new set of tyres all round. And let's have a little talk about the Bahrain International Circuit. So, as we touched on earlier, we've had the 3 renditions of the circuit, the current format being just 3.3 miles. What iconic moments in Bahrain come to mind when one talks about the fantastic circuit?
I mean, there's one that is not a positive thing that comes to mind, and that was obviously Romain Grosjean's massive crash.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
That's sadly, that's the first thing that comes to my mind in Bahrain. And yeah, but I think also Charles Leclerc's engine going in, was it
2019? Yes, would have been his first race win had he held on.
Rosberg Hamilton
14
or 15,
yeah,
whenever it was.
14.
Those two were, that was pretty iconic. To be honest, we've seen a lot of dull races. I mean, also, it was on the Sakir layout, but Checo Perez going from last to first.
That is one of my favourite memories, along with obviously the fantastic duel in the desert, as it was dubbed, between the 2 Mercedes drivers. That was a fantastic event, of course. So, funnily enough, there was actually a cancellation of the Bahrain Grand Prix in 2011. The reason being was due to protesters over human rights, but otherwise this track has been on the calendar every year since 2004, and obviously, as we mentioned, had 2 races in the 2020 season due to COVID and them holding the race over 2 different versions of the circuit. This race initially was a daytime race in the desert, and following the successes in both Singapore and then later on Abu Dhabi, Bahrain made the decision to also have a twilight, midnight, sort of evening to nighttime effect through the race. This has, I think, been a good idea. It's given us a slightly different dynamic to the circuit. The spectacle of the race is slightly more interesting, and it makes the tyres a little bit easier to work with for those drivers and the teams.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's definitely becoming one that's... Oh, I mean, the day race was... It always threw up that different dynamic because of how hot it is, didn't it? So...
Indeed.
But I'm interested to see now as well, on just the basis of the race quickly, that how this is going to play out.
Indeed. Well, we've got a massive Aston Martin sandwich here, so both the Aston Martin safety car and the Aston Martin of Night Shadow lead the field. And at the back, you've got B17 in the Aston Martin. So, an Aston Martin sandwich all round, and the safety car is on its way into the pits. The racing will resume at the end of this lap. Lap 11 will see the racing resume at full speed. And the question is, when will Night Shadow go?
I've just realised this is very fast for a Gav restart.
It is. I'm surprised, and I think so is everyone else. And here we go. He's already dropped the throttle. He's already gone. And there's a collision between Danny and Gecko.
Yeah, there is.
Interesting.
That is strange. Danny's dropped to last as well. It was down the straight, so that's really strange. That one you may see in the stewards, I think. But
yeah, I'm sure we will.
Scratch and Melvin were almost side by side down the straight there, so neither came together. They both made it through cleanly. Julian's got past Mutton Nuts on his brand new medium tyres. How well can Julian make them last? Oh,
he's backed out though. Oh no, there's a collision! Oh my word, what is going on there? We've just seen a load of drivers back off, and that is a huge amount of damage we've just seen there. Again, we will hear more in stewarding, I'm sure. That was a bit messy, I'll be honest. Oh,
Danny's in the pits. Danny's got it retired in the pits. So.
Baby Hornet just made a fantastic move. Oh, and now we've got more drivers backing off.
You got a feel for Mutts Nuts. He tried to pull the strategy, and now has dropped quite considerably.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of confusion between drivers who are backing off suddenly. Not sure if it's an illegal overtake or not, but obviously, if the game gives you an illegal overtake, please proceed and deal with it at the end of the racing stewarding. Don't try and correct it now. Anyway, back to the front, and Night Shadow leads.
Boofy over the rear Fox, by the way.
Yeah, let's drop to it. You've also got Ryan of Red Card just behind him. They are good friends. We might see that Boofy's not being attacked by Ryan. We might see that he just lets Ryan through, though. We'll have to wait and see. Boofy, mind you, as you say, is looking exciting in the Ferrari. Just up ahead of them, though. Scratch. Looks like we have got the old Scratch charisma back here, doesn't it?
It really does, and it is great
Ryan's
to see.
past Boofy.
So entertaining.
Yeah, he is a very good driver. I remember he was in Tier 1. Wasn't that long ago, so let's see if he can regain that confidence.
Yeah. It would be great to see. It's also good to see Boofy back up there fighting at the front because it's been a while since he's had this kind of like success. So
a combination of university work and employment work has seen Boofy be a fairly busy man, and yeah, it looks like he's hit the ground running on this new game very quickly.
Yeah, it's great to see. So let's see. Anyway, because Scratch is practically pushing Gab through 8 and 9. But Melbourne's still there, ready to pounce as well. So let's see.
Here we go.
Scratch.
Ooh, good defending. Looks to me like this could be a big fight between these two for the rest of the race. Both have got pace, and the slipstream is very powerful in this game and this track. So I would not be surprised to see this battle go on all night long. I'm going to call myself Lionel Richie.
Is it too late for me to change my prediction?
Yes.
Because I was going to go Julian now on the mediums. I think he's just going to burn through the field.
I disagree. I think the higher tyres, the tyres to be on. I think Scratch, Melvin or Night Shadow are the men to watch.
No, they definitely are. There's no denying that, yeah. I agree with that 100%. But it's going to be interesting. I'm proud of Jam as well, back on his like Tier 3. Well, actually, he raced the last race of Tier 3 last season, but he's right up there in P8 at the minute.
Indeed. It's good to see Jam back. I used to coach him back in the day, once upon a time.
Yeah.
And he's a really nice guy. He's Jesse. Very nice guy. And it's good to have him back. He's had to step away a few times because of commitments. Just being a busy man. He's a busy, hard-working guy, but it's good to have him back.
It is. It really is. And it's good to see him competitive as well. It shows that he's been putting at least a little bit of time in. Baby Hornets round.
Oh, Simon, I was going to say earlier, he was doing well to come back from the
he's
qualifying.
His tyres are gone again. Simon's having a disaster.
Oh, Simon. It hurts my heart. It hurts my heart to see a fellow Leeds fan just dropping down the order.
Yeah. I'll refrain from commenting. But
I was going to say, if you comment, I can just turn this on you even worse.
No, you've already made one comment, so that was payback. But still,
wait, whoa, hold on a minute. Which comment?
Start the stream, thank you. Reading.
I said nothing bad about. Well, I might have actually. Anyway, moving on swiftly.
But Julian is still. I agree. Maybe you were right on the whole hard tyre thing, because Julian's not really making the inroad that I expected on Boothie here.
No, and Jam, meanwhile, is under big attack from his countryman Jackster. We know that Jackster's a quick guy, but Jam does not look to have the pace here on this tyre. And yeah, Jackster's got the. Sorry, that's the Johnny's just taken. Jackster will be next on Jam, and it just looks like the pace of the medium tyre doesn't look that good. We saw it on Monday, it wasn't convincing, and the soft and the hards just work better. I don't know if it's a glitch or an issue, or if it's deliberately this way, but the medium tyre, despite being the mega tyre in the old game, it's not. Oh, Jackson's had a huge moment there. Yeah, the medium tyre is just not the one to be on.
For me, controversially, this game and last game, I've hated the mediums on both. I hated them on the last game with a burning passion.
I mean, it was a running joke that in practice sessions I would set my fastest lap on mediums all the time. On this game, I will not be doing that. I'm not wasting my time on a tyre that I can't stand.
Yeah. But here goes Scratch into the final corner. Gav's going to play the DRS game again, but this time he needs to get it right. He needs to get the run out of that final corner.
He has this time.
He's got it.
Let's stay on board with the Aston Martin and look at the advantage of DRS. That is how you defend a position, by giving up in the first place. Oh dear.
Maybe don't recommend it, but Gav's managed to make it work. It won't work every time, as we saw with Gav and Melbourne earlier, but Scratch has gone for the exit on the run down to turn 4.
He might get him back here.
He's got it as well. Gav flashing like a man in the middle of Glasgow, but he's not quite close enough. But Scratch is a bit earlier on the power, but he's just back.
Indeed, Donny has got ahead of Jackster. It looks like Jackster is having... Oh no, he's got back ahead of him now. But the inside is turn 4. Good move by the Ferrari man. Oh, bit of collision. Donny's got the better run out of turn 4. Jackster on the inside for 5 and 6 though. Gives him the advantage.
What, Julian's having a look around the outside of Boofy into 8 and 9. Oh,
yeah, he's had to back out of it though. Wise move. But he's got a great exit.
Yeah. Here comes
He's
Julian.
got no ERS though, that's the issue. Jackster's got some...
Actually.
Has he? Oh, it looked like he hadn't. Anyway. Oh, and Jackster hangs on.
Boofy hangs on, mate.
Sorry, Booth even. I looked at the Ferrari logo and looked at the wrong one.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I've done a Murray moment.
But, caution, sector 2. I think that's B17.
Oh, safety car. And Gav got on the brakes very early there and it nearly caught Scratch Christmas out. Are we going to see any brave punters going in for a set of softs? Because you could take the softs to the end from here. It's doable. Really? With the safety car, it's doable. I would not be surprised if one of them gambles. I'd gamble.
Not.
Somebody gamble. No, none of them have gambled. No one has gambled.
Let's see what's going on. I'll tell you what, I'm a bit proud of Geke. He's really made some inroads through the field today. He's right up there now, on the back of the pack and getting involved.
Indeed.
So, he's trying to catch the Delta at the minute. I'm surprised that none of the guys at the rear of the field have come in for softs. Somebody
should have. Although we've got an Alpine off track there. The only reason they would have not done is if... What's happened to B17?
He's got the damage, so he's actually getting a free pit stop here. I wonder...
Is he going to gamble on the softs? I would.
Maybe Hornet's in as well.
Let's wait and see.
He's got the mediums.
Yeah, they've both gone for mediums. Maybe they've not got any brand new softs, so maybe they used them all in qualifying.
Potentially, but I mean, B17's actually unused mediums as well, but... Because we want to see how it's going to play out. Those guys are going to have the fresher tyres, so they could make more inroads than other people. But let's see what goes on here, shall we? Because it now brings all the field back together again as well. So
it does indeed.
Let's see what happens. YouTube chat is very quiet tonight.
Surprisingly, I mean, we did talk about the different renditions and events of both the track and the racing history here. So, John Stevens says, anyone know what P1 quality time was? I arrived late. It was a 1 minute 30.2 by Mr. Gavin Jenkins, also known as Night Shadow. 1:30.2. Mr. Geo Ducky says, hard working indeed. Yes, Jam is a hard working man, my friends. I'm glad you agree. Always a great fella to sit next to in class. I always beat him in the two-player career. Aha! Well, Mr. Geo Ducky, if you want to come and join us and race with us, let us know and we'll get you a Discord link. Come and have a little play on F1 23 with the boys and girls of MRC. Shiran, who is also known as Chelsea, Tier 4 driver, says hello. And go Team Aston. Well, Team Aston's doing quite well. He'll be happy. Mark, the Lion King Dennison, loved this track in the last couple of years of the game, but he doesn't like it as much with the ground effect cars of 22 and 23. Understandably, I can just see why. It's not the kind of circuit that suits the ground effect cars. And B17, no assist today, says Mr. Jarman, also known as Kaiser Soze, our Tier 2 runner-up from last season, and now Tier 1 driver.
John Stevens just asked, what was the P1 quali time? Is this?
Yes, I said it was a 30.2. 1 minute 30.2 for Gav the Night
Andy's
Shadow.
here now as well.
Hello, Mandy. How are we, my friends? I hope you're well.
MRC's #1 fan.
Some say that Mandy's loyalty knows no bounds.
Yeah, I think Mandy should be trained by Simba and become a driver.
Well, some say that she might take Tier 1 by storm.
Some say that Tier 1 champion. That's it. Confirmed.
I've heard a rumour.
Okay.
Rumour has it that DRS Julian is just Mandy in disguise.
Fair enough.
I'll be honest, I made that one up. I made that up.
Why not? I mean, just as you said that DRS Julian just drove off track down the straight.
Yeah, well, yeah. Anyway, so
Mandy's
the safety car.
So that's it. Maybe Mandy's laughing because
We've outed her.
Off track down the straight.
Illuminati confirmed. Now then, it's interesting. You can drive off track here and get away with it at most of the track. It's quite smooth. It's quite solid and stable offline here and off track, with the exception of a couple of little bumps and a couple of big gravel traps. It's interesting we've got a safety car because the safety car's coming in very late. I was just going to say the walls are quite far away from the circuit, apart from the Grosjean wall. But we've had a few safety cars in all the races, and here we go. Gav's going to have to pick a very awkward moment to go.
Stressing right now.
How?
This is horrible for him.
Here we go. Samba with a penalty for hitting back Mazo, 5 seconds. And look at this. We've got an Alpine and a Haas side by side heading towards turn 1. Here we go.
It's the Tier 2, boys. That's who it is. Ryan's through on Fox.
Oh, Ryan's got through. And meanwhile, we've got Julian and Boothie side by side. Oh, there's a collision! And oh my word, Julian has done a Grosjean. And we have another safety car straight back out.
It's not actually out yet. Oh, it is. Okay.
It's out. It's out.
It's saying safety car. It just says caution 6 and 1 on my screen. But yeah, oh no, it's a safety car. But
oh wow. Well, that was.
Now are we gonna see anyone gamble?
This. Oh no, because now if the gamble's too late because you drop right to last. Although so you may have seen an MRCX on Friday. I don't know if you saw, but myself and Mr. Anthony Huxley, the Mercedes team, we both pitted for brand new tyres. I went for softs, he went for mediums, and we, over the last 16 laps of a 100% distance race on new tyres, absolutely destroyed everyone and ran away. We were not as fast as them, but on the brand new tyres we had that much more pace. It was ridiculous. So if someone does pit, yes, they will lose a lot of positions. However, they will also gain in pace. They'll gain so much pace, and they could well jump right back up the order again. So do not be surprised if someone does gamble. It's a huge gamble to play, considering they're all on very similar tyres.
I don't expect to see the leaders gamble, let's put it that way. There's too much to lose there.
Gav with a little weave, it gives you a little thought as... they weave just before the pit entrance, it makes you think. No, still no one, and we've got an Alpine.
An Alpine. Yep,
Sambal is gambling. Here we go. He may as well.
I think he's got damage though, because he got a 5-second penalty for a collision with Bat Mazo under the safety car. So I do wonder if he may have damage, and he's got a certain 5
He's
seconds,
got the softs. So. He has got the softs loaded, ready to go. So here we go. We'll wait just to see that those softs do go on. He's put the softs on. Right,
very smart as well to serve that under the safety car from Sambal. That is very, very smart to do.
That is going to be one very, very fast race car.
It really is. I wonder where he's going to be one to watch now, I think. Coming through the field.
Indeed.
So
he was just outside the points. I think he was 12th or 13th pre-pit stop. He will be now 16th. But as you say, the penalty is gone. The wing is changed. And a new set of soft tyres are going to be very fast. Sherman says go Sambal. I agree. Go Sambal. Show us how good that strategy... Show us how good the strategy is. Prove me right, Mr. Sambal. I know that you're good, and I know the strategy's good. go on to get yourself a cheeky bag of points. Now then. So did you know?
Ducky's on PC, sadly.
Oh, that is a shame.
Did I know what, Mr. Bailey?
Did you know that last week was, in fact, no, not last week, the week before last was the 50th year of the safety car, and we are under the safety car right now. And 50 years of the safety car, we've seen different versions of the car. The cars nowadays that we have as safety cars are much more like jumped up road cars to race cars, whereas in the past they've used just bog standard Peugeots and all sorts. In the past, what safety car? This is a bit of a weird one. What is everyone's favourite safety car?
I actually like the current one.
Which one? There's a few.
The one that's on track right now.
See, I prefer the Mercedes to the Aston. Apparently, according to the drivers, the Mercedes one is faster. I remember the old CLK and SLKs that we used to have in the mid-2000s. I quite liked that, personally. But without any doubt, we've had, I believe, a Lancia, we've even had a Ferrari, we've had a Peugeot, and we've had a Renault Laguna safety car before. So, shout outs to anyone who can think of more obscure safety cars we've had in Formula 1. And if anyone comes out to Sebastian Vettel on the scooter in the Australian Grand Prix in 2022, then you can get in the bin, because you're wrong. It was not a safety car. Because he didn't wear a helmet, so it wasn't safe, because he took his helmet off. Anyway.
It really should have been.
It was great to see.
It really was.
Now, the safety car will surely be in this lap. I'm getting rather bored with safety cars. I'd like to see some racing. Avinash has just made a fantastic call with a Fiat Tempra. An old Fiat will have definitely been used, of course. That is a fantastic shout, Avinash, and welcome to the Tier 3 action.
Back next week to Tier 3 as well.
Indeed, the Tier 4 champion himself is in the chat. He is not racing this week, unfortunately. Jackster has his seat in the Ferrari today.
Some say he's weeding it.
And some say that Avinash, the reigning Tier 4 champion, is stepping up to Tier 3. Some say that actually he has ridiculous pace, and I am the one to say it. Avinash is a dark horse for the Tier 3 championship. You heard it here first.
The last time he was in Tier 3, like when he used to play the game a lot, he was constantly fighting at the front.
He was. Avinash, my dark horse, in the prancing horse for the championship. The rank outsider, who might just cause some damage. The safety car, as predicted, is in this lap, and again, we are having another safety car restart. Let's try and keep it clean this time, everybody. Round the final corner. And he doesn't go straight away, he's keeping them guessing.
Them every time so far. He's got it right every time.
Look at this. This is giving me Mugello 2020 vibes with the... Look at them all, side by side. Gav finally puts his foot down, and immediately that big spread out there forms into a single train, almost a perfect line. We've got a Ferrari at the inside of Williams.
Melbourne's going for P2.
Indeed, we've got an Alpine.
Contact between Ryan and Melbourne.
Indeed. Melvin has kept P3. Ryan shot down to P5. Looked like he might have been getting himself in the podium positions. Just behind them, you've got Mr. Booth in a Williams sandwich. Oh, he's lost out to D Johnny on the exit there. Oh, we got a Ferrari round!
It's Jackster.
Jackster's in the wall. He will be livid.
He's got no damage though, but well, visual damage anyway. But
the biggest damage here is that he is way down, way from the back of the field, and oh, we got a Mercedes umbrella. We got Red Bull Runners Baby Hornet. Oh, Simon.
Yeah, going bad to worse for Mr. Hornet.
Mutsnuts getting aggressive on the back of the AlphaTauri of Geke Matthews.
Yeah, let's see. Boofy. Oh, the two Williams are side by side. Into turn 10.
Oh no, we got one round. Donny's round.
Yeah, they made contact. Oh, it's a huge shame. But can I just tell you, look at the restart from Sambao.
Sambao, I told you.
Nuts on the inside. Geke, what a move.
Indeed.
Wow.
So Sambao was already back to where he was before the pit stop. penalty removed, front wing replaced, and a brand new set of tyres. Right now, Sambo, bit too much curve on the inside of the corner for the final turn, but oh my, what? Look at the run that Nuts got out of there on Geke. Sambo is definitely in a good position to get some good points here.
He is, but he's actually under pressure from Rob Smith behind at the minute.
Bad final corner, and Sambo very deep into turn 1, and he's off track. That is unfortunate for him.
5 seconds for exceeding track limit seems a tiny bit harsh there, though, to be completely honest. But
yeah, we'll leave that be for the game to be as it is now. Then Geke fighting with B17. We got a plus for these. Scratching for the moment, and Melbourne is through. Looks like Gav's had a moment too, because Gav's down to P4, Scratch down to P2, Melbourne P3 to P1.
Ryan's just gone off road as well, because now Fox is ahead of. I think there was contact between Scratch and Gav. I really do.
I hope there wasn't, but I think you may be right.
Moment. On the staff, Sambo's dropped.
He'll come back. He can make it back still.
Yes, of course. It'd be great to see him back as well. But let's see. So now this battle for the lead has become oh so interesting. But look at Fox. He's now right at the back. Melbourne may have.
Ryan's had a moment there.
Yeah,
Ryan had a big moment there.
If we have a look back as well, I think it's Donny's now having a look at Batmazo into the final corner. There's contact between the two. Donny's round.
Indeed, looked like Batmazo got a bit twitched in the exit. There must have been a collision. That's going to give Rob Smith a great chance here. Rob Smith gives him the dummy, gets up the inside, and that should be an easy move really from there.
Yeah,
Batmazo's trying to come back at him, but Rob Smith, cool as you like. Batmazo very switching the exit, and Nuts had to take avoiding action not to collect him. And Batmazo's now had another moment. I think Batmazo's tyres might have gone.
Yeah, I think so. But actually, something Baby Hornet's having a look at the inside of Geke.
He is very deep.
Oh, he's gone really deep though. Oh, it's a big, big shame. Oh, Geke's in the wall!
Oh dear, spun in sympathy. And we have a virtual safety car.
Oh, you've just got to feel. I'm glad it's a virtual though. I don't think I could deal with another safety car.
No, and no once again. Now then, let's quickly look at the YouTube chat very quickly while we have a minute. So, Avinash says he needs to practice. He's clearly feeling the pressure and the praise from us and wants to do something about it. Good man. Mr. Dennison says Avinash is rapid when he wants to be.
Yeah, no, Avinash is very quick. I think we've seen that a lot over the season.
Indeed.
So it's just about him getting his confidence back and being able to play the game a lot, because I know he has a lot of internet issues over in South Africa.
Indeedy. And Mr. Geoducky says there's a lot happening. You know what, my friends? There is a lot happening, and if you're one of the guys at the front, you just want it all to calm down so you can just get on and race. This is not what you want. If I was one of the guys at the front, I'd be pissing for a set of softs. It's a cheap pit stop.
I do want to point one thing out though. We've only got 2 likes. Can you guys get liking the video, please?
Yep, please like, subscribe, ding the bell, and get freaky in the comments. We love to have you here. Now then, we have a green flag. So DRS is live because of the VSC. No reset on the DRS. And we have a Dutchman in Red Bull leading the race. Once again, he started in the front row. Where have we seen this before?
I think Scratch though still has the pace, but then I say that, look at Fox, he's having a look at him into turn 7.
Scratch with a big mistake in the braking under the hairpin, and that's given Fox a real run at him up the hill. Now into the downhill double left-hander. DRS will be active, and they have dropped out of Melbourne's 1 second window. This will mean that Fox has an advantage. Scratch will be vulnerable, but here comes Gav. Night Shadow is not wanting to let them get away either. Fox has got to attack and defend at the same time. Not ideal.
Yeah. Jam's just got past Mr. Rambo as well for P6.
Indeed, but he's gone wide. He's then gone wide and lost the position straight away. Huge shame. Yeah. Boothie's having a quiet race, really, in P5. He's not been the quickest, but he's kept it going. Where others have spun, crashed, or had a moment.
P4.
Yes.
With Fox to motion, so. Oh,
hold on a minute.
Nearly got in the back of Ryan.
Gav going past Fox. Gav takes P3.
He does. Now,
and is he going to have a look at Scratch?
That straight line speed there looks like Gav's older dude. He's gone around the outside!
Gav just used all his ERS there, that's what that was. Gav already...
Oh!
What happened there? Scratch just got out of the way. Oh, collision with Scratch and Fox! And they're side by side and Gav's now vulnerable! Gav's gone too deep, he's on the marbles. He's on the marbles.
Contact between Scratch and Fox!
And Gav's got a great drive on the exit there.
Melvin's had a moment.
Oh, Ryan's round.
Had a huge moment.
Ryan's round.
Contact between Gav and Melvin.
Melvin's round. Sorry, Ryan's round. I mean,
what is going on? Fox is also round because Boofy's now gone into P4. So is Rob Smith. Fox has dropped a lot of places.
Wow, it's all going on. It's all kicking off on Albert Square.
Done.
We're going to get in trouble with the British Broadcasting Corporation shortly.
Yeah, that's why
1.2 seconds separates the top 4. 1.1 separates the top 4. 1.0! Are we going to see Boofy take a surprise sneaky win here? We have 4 and a bit laps to go.
Any of them have damage though, because
it could be possible.
They've all just pretty much hit each other in the space of about 3 quarters. So, do they have damage that we don't know about? But let's see. Gav now, can he get that exit on Melbourne? He's going to have the DRS. But Scratch is actually the man with the exit. Scratch is also the man with the ERS.
He is. Gav is vulnerable here. He will need to defend. Both of them are out of ERS. Both of them have DRS and slipstream. Scratch is at the inside. He needs to cut the car stopped. Gav hangs around the outside and has kept the position. Very well driven by both of them there. Great fighting by them both. Boofy's just sitting there waiting for one of them to drop it, and Melvin's just praying that they... Oh! Collision! Oh, Boofy's hit them too! All 4 have hit each other! Oh my word.
Oh no, that's Boofy again!
Oh, and look who's coming up to see the chaos here. Rob Smith could be on for a win here. Rob Smith is now on the back of Boofy, who's got wing damage. Because of not being able to avoid them, that was extremely unlucky for all of them, but Melvin is the one who'll be the most aggravated there. He was leading, Gav and Scratch were aggressive into the corner to try and get the move done, and Melvin just got clipped to the rear. Scratch, it looks like he doesn't have any damage, which means he's able to run away. Rob Smith is now past Boofy. Jam will surely get Boofy now as well and take P3.
Honestly, I have no idea what's just happened.
That was... Oh, nuts is the moment! Coming in the penultimate corner, and he's just lost position. Boofy now behind Jam, as we mentioned. Jam is on for a podium.
Wing,
does he?
So
on my screen he doesn't.
Position.
On mine.
Oh, my screen Gav does.
Oh no, he does. I lie. He does have a front wing.
But so, Boofy doesn't. And he's still going. Boofy obviously feels like a podium is still possible here with no front wing.
Indeed.
Which I guess in some, he's got no penalty, so in some weird, strange, very, very strange way, it is still possible. But
it is. Oh, Melvin's retired. He's in the pits though.
There was contact with his rear wing.
That is a hate quit, and in fairness to him, having been in the lead and then being hit at the rear, he's going to be angry. We're going to have an angry Dutchman. Oh, Boofy's struggling to even make the corners there. Let's not look at that. Scratch Charisma now extending 5 seconds clear of Rob Smith and Jam. Are we about to see a very unlikely podium after what frankly looked like a game set and match for Melvin, Scratch Charisma, Gav, and maybe the Fox? One of 3 of those 4 to take the podium. It now looks like Scratch is the only one with a chance.
Yeah, it really does. Honestly, I have no idea what was going on. But Gav's just gone past Boofy as well, so Gav's actually still...
He's 4 seconds off of Jam. Let's see what Jam's penalty is, because Jam's 4 seconds ahead with a 3-second penalty. So, if Gav can find just over a second, say 1.3 seconds in the next 2 laps, he can get a podium.
Yeah, he definitely can. I'd say something. Baby Hornet, after everything that's happened to him this race, is currently back at the points as well. But
This
he
is
has
why
got
you
another Dutchman all
never
over him.
quit. Never quit. He's got Sambal very much on him on those soft tyres. Sambal could get some points here. Now then, Boothie is just falling down the order on with that Ferrari with no front wing. Day Johnny will just look to make an easy pass here. Boothie, I respect that he's trying to fight, but well, this is going to be hard for him here to hang on to the points. He's only a few seconds away from dropping out the points. He's got to really try hard. Much nuts with a problem.
Yeah,
Much nuts with a big moment there.
Race.
Now back Mazo looks like he's going to secure himself some good points now after all this. Fox River P9 after all those calamities, and as you mentioned, Baby Hornet. If he can just keep it clean here, he could sneak himself some points, and should do. There's not a lot going on down the back with the exception of Geke and B17 fighting, and B17's in the wall. Oh dear. Yeah, I think he's a cook these tyres. Scratch Kuzma will start the final lap of the race though. Here we go. Rob Smith just 5.2 seconds behind. So if Scratch has a moment, Rob will be there to pounce. Jam P3, 8.2 behind the leader. Just 2.1 ahead of Gav. Now, with a 3-second penalty that Jam has, Gav will sneak the podium from him.
Yeah.
His Williams teammate is P5, is Dijon 8. He's got Much Nuts chasing him, but doesn't look close enough to make a move on the man in P5. Back Mazo, P7, closely followed by Fox and Boothie. Fox is right on the outside of Boothie at turn 2. Easy move when he's got no wing.
Yeah, Boothie's still going to get points here though, so that's one big positive.
I'm cursed, Johnny. He's gone very wide at turn 4, and that's allowed Much Nuts to have a run into 5 and 6. Oh, Johnny hangs on.
Tell you what though, I bet you're really happy right now. It's a good day for the Williams boys.
I'm such a proud Willy boy.
You're always going to be one at heart, aren't you? But Rob Smith running no assists. He's going to be the man in P2 here. He's going to be delighted with that. But look at how much Gav's caught Jam, by the way. Yeah,
I was touching on it earlier. It's now 1.5 seconds. That 4-second gap, he's found 2.5 seconds in the last 2 laps. Gav is a man on a mission. He wants that podium. Let's cut back to the leader, though, as Scratch Charisma approaches the final corner for the final time. Of that front 4 quartet that was running away, he was one of them. He was the one to make the least mistakes and avoid the damage and the calamities. Scratch Charisma takes the first win of Tier 3 in Season 11. Next to the line with a fantastic drive is Rob Smith and Mercedes. Third will be Jam, but following the penalty he will drop to 4th. Night Shadow will take 3rd on the podium. D Johnny takes P5, 4th and 5th for Williams with Much Nuts crossing the line P6. That and then is followed by Back Mazo and the Fox River in 7th and 8th respectively. Boothie with the front wing broken finishes 9th, and somehow, as predicted, does take the final points position. Baby Hornet P11 for Red Bull. He will be disappointed after his day's work. Red car of Rambo, the super sub. Nico Hulkenberg of MRC takes P12. Jackster will be next across the line in P13. He's going for a fastest lap attempt, I believe. Is he going to get it? Let's wait and see. He does, 131.6. There's a little bit of pride for him. Every cloud has a silver lining. And last across the line. Well, it's not last actually, he's penultimate across the line. It's B17 in the Aston Martin. And last but not least, he's missing some front wing. It's Geke Matthews.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about you, Connor, but I'm trying not to say too much about that. There's a lot going on.
In those last 10 laps, that's all I'll say. Yeah.
The game's just given its drive of the day there, but I'm giving my drive of the day to Rob Smith. What a drive to Rob Smith, and a notable mention to Jam. They are my notable 2 drivers today. Who are you wanting to put forward for special commendation?
Well, I think I'm going to go driver of the day, Scratch. I know obviously a lot happened at the end, but he's a driver that struggled over the last few seasons. I'd like to pay a mention for Mutts Nuts, who was last for quite a lot of that race. Jam started P19, I've just picked that up fourth. And I'll give one to Sambal as well.
Indeed, good driving from a fair few of our drivers. A few questionable incidents, which I'm sure will be reviewed in stewarding, and of course, all results are provisional, pending steward inquiries. Now then, Scratch Wisdom, as we noted there, took the lead. Rob Smith P2 and Night Shadow rounds out P3. Jam P4, D Johnny P5, Mutts Nuts 6th, 7th for Black Meadow, 8th Fox River, 9th Boothie, and 10th in the last points paying position is Sambal. 11th for the Baby Hornets, Red Car 12th, 13th for the fastest lap sees Jackster. B17 is P14, Geke 15th, and then the DNS, Melvin, DRS Julian, RFC Danny, and Stoke, and the Scottish Ninja. Thank you all of our drivers, all of our viewers, and just anyone involved today. But most importantly, thank you to you, Connor, for making my evening bearable. And that was just before the race. During the race, you just helped keep me calm. So thank you, my friend.
Well, I mean, it's been a while since I say a while, it's been about a month or two, and it feels like it's been forever, but back together, at least for once this season anyway, so.
We're back together. We're getting the band back together. Don't go too far, because following these fantastic events, Tier 4 action is coming. The Tier 4 boys will be rounding out the week with a final event of the the Sakir International Circuit of Bahrain at the Tier 4 season opener. That will commence in just a short 22 minutes. So get comfy, get a drink, and tune in to watch that. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and ring the bell to get notified of when we come online. And check the link in the description. Join us in the Discord. Come and race with us. We are always looking out for competitive reserves. Reserves will eventually always become full-time drivers if they prove themselves. So come and join us. But for now, thank you, Connor. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Have a lovely evening and good night.